So, Suns versus Pelicans. The Suns win Game 5 to take a 3-2 series lead in a pretty big game. And I think in this one, it was Chris Paul who really set the tempo early. He came out in the first quarter pretty aggressive, got to his spot in the mid-range, got to the basket. He finished the game with 22 points and 11 assists. And I think he definitely wasn't going to let what happened in Game 4 happen to the Suns again. Without Devin Booker, he really set the tone early. And then it was really Mikal Bridges in the second half. He was dominant today, one of his best games of all time, 31 points, 5 rebounds, had quite a few blocks, and hit 4 threes, was 4 for 4 from 3, 4 blocks, played 47 minutes, guarding either McCollum or Brandon Ingram, and just all around a great game from Mikal Bridges. In terms of the other stuff for the Suns, it was really more of a performance that you'd expect for them. More of the team that had the best record in the NBA, even without Devin Booker. They are able to do a little bit better from 3, shot 37%. They're able to create open looks with Crowder and Johnson and Ayton and Bridges, just all the guys that needed to step up did pretty good tonight. And also defensively, they're a lot better. And it started with Bridges, but really everyone contributing. In terms of some of the other stuff that the Pelicans took advantage of in Game 4 that, the Suns sort of corrected in this game, the rebounding was a big issue for the Suns in Game 4. But they were able to solve that mostly in this game. And one thing they did that was interesting is whenever the Pelicans went with their two bigs with Larry Nance Jr. and Valanciunas, the Suns matched that with Ayton and McGee, or Biyombo also played 8 minutes and was in with either Ayton or McGee. So that helped them out. And then off the bench, Cameron Payne helped them out too a little bit. He hit 2 very important threes in crucial moments where it felt like maybe the Pelicans were getting back in it, but the Suns were able to keep their foot on the gas, and it turned out to be a pretty comfortable win. But the Pelicans did make it a bit close, and it did feel like a playoff game that could have gone either way, if the Pelicans had gotten hot, but they really didn't. They shot 40% from the field and 20% from 3, and they struggled at times offensively. McCollum, 7 for 22, 1 for 8 from 3, only had 21 points. Ingram only did a little better, 22 points, and really didn't get too much from anyone else, except Alvarado had 12 off the bench and forced an 8-second violation against Chris Paul, and then the technical foul against Chris Paul, which is pretty funny because usually it's Chris Paul who's annoying people and, being the small guy who's getting steals and things like that, and to see Alvarado do it to him is pretty hilarious. But overall, the Pelicans, the fact that they did shoot so poorly and were still in this game, I think is a good sign. And I think if they do want to win Game 6, they're going to have to shoot better from 3, and they're going to have one of McCollum or Ingram have a really, really great performance. Also, something that is encouraging for the Pelicans is they were still able to get to the free throw line 35 times. So if they're staying aggressive inside, and one of the 2 stars plays really well, I think they do have a chance in Game 6. And then you force a Game 7, anything can happen. If I talk about these two teams more for the future and not just this game, so the Suns, if they are able to survive this series, they'll probably face the Mavs in the next round, but they could face the Jazz. But assuming they face the Mavericks, if they don't have Booker, I think it would be a really, really tough series. Even if they do have Booker, I think it'll be a tough series because, the Mavs are going to have Luka, they're going to have Brunson, who's been really good in these playoffs, and they're going to have a lot of role players and a lot of three-point shooting, and it could be tough for the Suns to combat that, especially if it's only Chris Paul who has to carry a lot of the load. One good thing for the Suns is they have Bridges. He was excellent tonight, and he is a guy who can throw on Luka, who can throw on Steph if they face the Warriors in the conference finals. So, they are a team. They made it to the championship last year for a reason, but I think overall, This struggle against New Orleans in the first round really shows that they're going to need Booker, which, it's obvious to say if any team was missing their MVP candidate, they're going to struggle. And then for the Pelicans, I think this has been really encouraging. They've been a really good team since they traded for CJ McCollum. And, the Zion situation has loomed over this whole run. And I think it'll be interesting to see, if he comes back next year, how he's looking, his health, his weight, all those questions with Zion. But even without Zion, they've built a good team with Ingram, who's really played well these playoffs, with Herb Jones, who's been a rookie, who's been a revelation defensively, and with just good players. Like, they were a 9 seed this year, but they have so many good players on the roster, so many guys who can contribute. Even off the bench, they have guys like Larry Nance Jr. and Jose Alvarado and Trey Murphy. So, yeah, I think things are looking up for the Pelicans, even if they didn't win Game 5. And this series isn't over because the Pelicans could easily win Game 6. So, anyways, great performance by Mikal Bridges and the Suns in Game 5, and they take this one. But anyways, thanks for watching, leave a like, and subscribe to this channel for more NBA content.